Hello everyone, Zelleranth here, and Prydwen has now updated the Girls Frontline 2 tier list with all the units' positions here. One thing I really like about theirs is they break them down based on what their positions are within the game, whether they're a tank, sustain, amplifier, or damage dealer. But they also give us a tier list based on what their value is in the early to mid game, as well as a CN tier list. So you can kind of plan around your units that you're going to get initially. And then as you're planning your future pulls, you can look at the CN1 to see what are going to be the units you want to target down the line. So far, a lot of their stuff seems to be fairly similar to that we've seen with the other one. Big thing you notice is Suami is on the very tip top by herself on the global release, and then she's only one of two at the very tip top on the CN side of things. Now, this is all up to interpretation. Some people may put others at higher value. A lot of times when I kind of think of the tier lists in these units is just how much content they're good for and the best for. And from everything I'm seeing now on Clue K, especially I've looked more into her, she is absolutely amazing in the game and can do a majority of the content, some of it solo on her own. So it kind of even more affirms that I definitely am going to be targeting her. And if I'm not mistaken, she's the one that had one of the usually you have the all the costumes you have to pay through in the cash shop, especially the more fan servicey ones. She actually gets a free one, I believe, that's got quite a bit of fan service in it that we should hopefully get on the global side as free. And so she's definitely gonna be a good target because she just works with a free-to-play unit that we'll get eventually, like with Prydwen. But another thing I noticed on here that really didn't stick out on the other one was Vector, being the top of the amplifiers here. In the S side, and when I looked at her kit, she is going to actually be a must pull for me as well, as she is very good alongside helping burn units and their support attacks, which Quanju with a standard unit that is going to be my main target, especially for the reroll. She will pair extremely well with her. So Vector is definitely one that I don't want to go for. And so it's kind of giving my idea of everything is kind of already starting to evolve a little bit from what I was saying the previous day. I hadn't looked at Centaurosi or Andrus yet. Now, with Suami being the tippy top of the sustain, I don't know what she brings yet that is kind of different. But I do know on the tanking units, I kind of already seen how Sabrina was a tank. So I'll have to look more into Andrus because just being better than Sabrina, how much better do they have her on this tier list? Because they have Sabrina rated A as a having no dupes. So this, because they treat all the SSRs as if there's just one copy with no dupes, which makes sense because nobody should be really pulling for dupes unless they're whaling or a light spender. And so this gives you a good idea on that. But Sabrina is one that you can eventually get dupes of her now it'll take some time, but you will eventually start to get more dupes of her. And so does she become more of an S or an S plus as you start getting her dupes? And can she outperform Andrus in that kind of tanking role? And is there a difference between the two? Because just because they're both tanks, they may have different functionalities and synergize better with different teammates. So definitely, I'm kind of looking into there as well. I mean, it doesn't change really anything with Mech T. Definitely one that I am liking and looking forward to potentially pulling. Now, I seen Jian Yu is surprisingly higher than I had seen on the other tier lists, and based off what I've seen on the kits. She just sounded like she really wanted her dupes to shine, but they have her on B, while we have Ulrid, who's coming out now, who they have down on C. And I kind of see Ulrid's reasoning being that she has limited uses, and her stealth mechanic that kind of ties her into it is not very useful, as it just kind of prevents single target attacks, but she can still be impacted by AoE. So not 100% sure there. And so we have the low bottom tier. Like if you're doing rerolls, Vet Please one that you want to make sure you don't get, as she gets outclassed by an SR. But as I move through this, it's kind of shaping up the people I want to target and the ones I kind of want to skip so far. Then again, I don't know how well my luck's going to be in this versus other games, because it could just be that I go for every unit. I mean, I am a light spender and will spend a little bit of money on the game. So how easy will it be for me to get every single person? Because from what I've seen, even though they have Hoyoverse rates, they are friendlier, at least from what I understand, on the currency needed to get the units. Now we'll kind of have to see how that goes. I mean, every game's really friendly in the very beginning because they just throw pulls at you. We'll just kind of see, because I mean, if I can get every unit, I mean, I'll just get every unit. I mean, this is the kind of game that you kind of want to try and get every unit if you can. But yeah, it hasn't really changed my mind too much on my picks. I mean, the biggest thing that I've seen with this is it's kind of opened me up to, Vector's one that I really didn't have on my radar, but as I looked into her, she is really, really good, especially for my plans in the future. And then just knowing what branch they're under on here makes it a lot easier too to kind of do the research, because when I'm just blindly looking at them on this spreadsheet, it can be kind of hard initially to tell what their roles are, and it's not all in like a visual format that makes it a lot easier. So definitely a good resource, and I'll put a link in the description for both the tier list here as well as the spreadsheet, so you can kind of start planning your own units you want to go for. Because I know that being this game's a waifu game, so even though I like to play at a meta level to a certain extent, I know some people, they're going to just have the person who's their waifu and they're going to want to build around them. And so you're going to have to kind of look at those when it comes to synergies, because every unit's going to be playable in this game. Like, I already know somebody that's going for, right off the bat, Alrid. She has her uses, even though she is a C tier currently on the CN side of things. It has her value. A lot of it is more of, like they say here, a niche pick, meaning they're going to be good in most cases. In a lot of gacha games, the lower tier units are good. They're just more situational versus being general. So we know like units like Cluke could pretty much work anywhere in any content and does really well. While someone down here, since she has that stealth mechanic and it only works really well against single target type attacks, it means she should be really good against like a boss that basically has really hard hitting single target attacks because she can get around them. But that's her situational value, and she's not going to have as much value in, say, a map where there's a lot of AoE, because that stealth mechanic has absolutely no use there. But yeah, that pretty much covers that, and I will start re-rolling at 6 in the morning tomorrow. This is my first attempt at actually doing the multi-boxing, where I have more than one instance running of BlueStacks. I'm going to try and do 4 at the same time, and so I'll have the stream running the 4 games in all 4 corners. And then we'll just kind of keep doing that until I get one of them to be lucky enough to be one that I want to stick with. Then I'll lock that into my game account, and then we'll just go from there. I'm hoping we can do it fairly quickly, because with doing 4 of them, that's basically quadrupling my speed and being able to run through it. I've never done it like this before. I've always just done it as a single instance. So we'll see how easy it works, and make sure my computer should be able to handle it. I have a fairly decent computer. And then from there, we'll just kind of see what happens. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.